All right, so this is a video on rented property management, how to manage your rented property. So first of all, we go to properties module to set up our rented property. So go to this property module. So this is the property module here. Then we come to add properties. Then we have these fields here. So we select the property type, then the property name, the street address. So just fill in all of this. So we have this checkbox here that says this property is for a third party. So we use this in a case if the property does not belongs to the company. If it belongs to a third party, then we use this checkbox. Then if it does not, then we just we leave it unchecked. So so after filling this thing up, then we select the property matrix. Then we just come to submit to create the property. So property created. So next thing here is we come to our list properties page. So this is the property we created just now. This is rent garden. So we come to our list properties page, and we click on the action button in front of it. Then we click on units. So what we are trying to do here is we're trying to configure. We are trying to create the unit, then configure the units. So from this action button here, also we click on it and we click on add units. So this is where we configure our units. Now let's say we have units of 3-bedroom flats. So 3-bedroom flats, then 3 bathroom. Okay, so this duplicate actually means in a case whereby if we have these 3-bedroom flats, maybe we have like 3 of it inside that same property. So instead of adding the units one after the other, so we can just duplicate it. Let's say we have 5 in this case, or we have 10. So we can just duplicate it by inputting the figures here. Then it will automatically create 10 different units using this same 3-bedroom flats. Then so this is where we configure. We decide if the unit is for sale or for rent. So I'm using for rent in this case. So after clicking on for rent, then I click on OK. Okay, the size, so it's 500 square meter. Okay, so then I click on OK. All right, so this is successful now. So we've created 10 units, 3-bedroom flat, 1, 2, up to 10. So the next thing we need to do now is to configure pricing and to set frequency for the for the pricing for each unit. So if I to do that, I just locate this configure pricing here, and I click on configure pricing, and I click on create pricing. So under this create pricing, I have this select item. I select one of the item. Okay, so this name of the payment plan. So let's say I'm creating payment plan for daily. Then let's say the price is 120,000. Then the frequency is daily. Okay, so let's also say I'm creating a payment plan for weekly. Then let's say the price is 1.2 million. Then the frequency weekly. So let me apply this to all units. So after clicking on create, so my pricing has been created now. So the next thing to do now is in a case whereby we have service charge that we need to include, and we also want them to recall, like when creating invoice for our tenants and all of that. So where how to add service charge now is we go to home page, then we locate inventory. So this inventory module here. So this inventory module here. So this is the inventory module. Then from inventory module, we just click on create. We click on create. Then this is create inventory fields. So we fill this up, the inventory category, we either select or we create new. Then inventory name, so let's say I'm creating a bill in this case. Then I fill this up. So when I get to this section here, I select the inventory type to be service. Then I select, and we have this recurrence field here. So if I click on once, it will recur just once. It will be applicable just once, and it's not going to recur again. So if I click on daily, it's going to be recurring every day. If I click on weekly, it's going to recur every week. But in this case, I'm clicking on daily. So in this case, I'm using daily, and let's say the NEPA bill is, let's say it is 10,000. Then I can create the basic charge. All right, so basic charge now has been, service has been created now. So the next thing I will show us is now how to manage our tenants. So to do that, like how to create tenants and add the tenant profile, the biodata. So to do that, we come to our CRM section here. So come to our CRM section. So once we click on CRM, then we have this page here. Then we just locate add new. This add new. So once we click on add new, so we can use this public form, sent to our tenants. Then they can fill the form by themselves, and it will automatically show here, or we fill in the details from here manually. So I filled in some details here. This is Martins Kechiku. So after filling the details here, the available details here, so I just click on create. So the tenant has been created now. All right, so the next thing to do here now is so after the tenant has been created, so we can now then go we can now then create invoice, prepare invoice for the tenant. So in order to do that, we come to our we come to our sales module. So we locate sales module from here. So once we click on sales module, so we have this page. So this is sales module, and this is where we create invoice for tenant. So I'll just come to create invoice. So we have create invoice here, and we also have create commission invoice. So this create commission invoice will be used if the property is a third party property. So if the property does not belong to the company, then we use commission invoice. But if the property belongs to the company, then we use create invoice. So I'm using create invoice in this case. So the property, the invoice date, the client. Now so let me now select the client we added just now, which is Martins. Then mission. So now this is where I add item. So I'm clicking on add item, then the category of the item. So selecting rent garden. This is the property we created, rent garden. And if I click on item, it's going to be showing all the pricings that have been configured. So this is 3-bedroom flat daily, 3-bedroom flat weekly. So I'm going for 3-bedroom flat daily. So as you can see, this is the price. This is the amount. So now if I want to include the basic charge on this invoice, so I can just click on add item again. Then I click on category. Then I select basic charge. So I can then click on. So this is the NEPA bill we created. So and the price here is 10,000. So it has summed up to be 130,000. So what next now is I just click on create invoice. So I click on create invoice. So the invoice has been created. Okay, so this is the rent garden and the NEPA bill, and this is the view invoice page. So in a case we want to add payment to client invoice, So if we want to add payments to client invoice, so we just come to this action button here, and then we click on this action button, then we click on receive payment. So we click on receive payment. So let's say, okay, the payment date, the account the payment was paid into. So now let's say this tenant paid, let's say this tenant paid 100,000. So I'll just click on the description, say part payment, then the payment method, say transfer, then I click on save. So we've added partial payments to this particular tenant invoice, which means the tenant did not pay complete payment yet. So so another thing I will show now is on this same invoice list. So if we want to confirm if invoice are supposed to recall, so once we create invoice that are meant to recall, so it's going to show under this invoices then recurring items. So if I come to this recurring items, so as you can see, this is Martin's. Okay, so this is the these are the two items we created just now, and they are both showing here because they are meant to recur. So any items showing here will be recurring based on the recurring frequency that is stated here, which is to be daily, and if it is weekly, it's going to be showing weekly here. And if for any reason we want to stop the recurrence of this particular item, so we just need to come to the action button in front of the item. For instance, I want to stop the recurrence of this NEPA bill, so I just come to this action button, then I click on disable recurrence. So once I click on disable recurrence, it's going to delete from this page, and the invoice will not recur every day again. So that is that. So another thing I will show is outstanding balances. So outstanding balances is where you can track tenants that are still owing, and how much they are owing, and all of that. So this is the outstanding balance page, and as you can see, this is Martin's, the Kechiku we added just now. And from what we have here, this is saying this Daniel has paid 100,000. The total invoice amount is 130,000. He has paid 100,000, then he's owing 30,000. So we can track how much the tenants are owing, and how far they are owing from this outstanding balance page. So if I come to list invoice again, all right, so one thing I would like to show here is if I click on this display search parameters. So in a case whereby I want to search for a particular tenant that purchased a particular, or tenants that are owing under a particular item, get, so I can just from here search for the item here. For instance, let me say I'm searching for rent garden. So under this particular building, so let's say we want to search for clients that subscribe, or tenants that are inside this building alone. So if I search for select the building here, then I click on search, it's going to be showing this guy's name alone, because it's only this guy we have here, so we don't have anybody here else yet. So if I want to search for either the if it is partially paid or unpaid, so if I search for unpaid clients, unpaid tenants under this building now, so it's going to be showing, so it's not showing anything because we don't have any unpaid tenants. But if I search for partially paid tenants under this particular apartment, then it's going to be showing this Martins, because the guy invoice is partially paid. So now we can search by different parameters in case we want to search for tenants that are owing for the whole year. So we can just use this start date. If I use this start date, maybe we want to search from January to December, I can just use this search date to start from the date I want to start from, then end. Let's say I want to filter till date, then filter till date, then I click on search, then it will automatically filter for tenants or invoice under this particular apartment, then that are partially paid or they are unpaid. Then I just click on search and it will automatically filter them out for me. So this is how to manage rented property on Carrotsuite.